Hello and welcome to episode 34 of the Isla Paradiso bunch. This is Carrots here again, and we have the same crew because we've travelled direct from China. And I was able to do that because I have a mod, the NRAS Traveller mod. It lets me do a few things that can't be done in an unmodded game, and this is one of them. Travelling direct between worlds instead of having to go home and wait 2 days before travelling again to another world. You can just go straight to that world. Once you go home, though, you still have to wait the 2 days before you can travel again. However, I'm quite sure that if I did some digging and investigating, I'd discover that there is a setting in the mod that will mean that I don't have to wait the 2 days. I've just never looked for it. Now, I've also got story progression in from NRAS. So you will see a few things that happen in the game that will happen because I'm not using the EA story progression. The adventure that Muriel gets is the initial adventure that is always the first adventure you get when you first visit France, a trivial affair. It's always given by the keeper of the general store. I am looking for a daring soul who was willing to provide some assistance for an ample reward. Ami Lefebvre. Of course, each game you could have a different sim who's actually the proprietor of the store, and in this game it is Amy. Now, Muriel has found her out on the footpath. Usually I find that I've got to go into the store, but this is good. We haven't had to negotiate the store. The adventure Muriel is given is the Celtic foray. Ami says, thank you for coming. Are you prepared? I need you to do a bit of underground exploration for me. You should never go adventuring without the proper supplies, though. I have already given you some dried food, essential for staying nourished while you explore the depths of any tomb. In addition, you should always bring a tent with you. As it happens, my humble store sells both tents and dried food. Now, in map view, we can see where she's going to have to travel to the Celtic foray. I've just put a circle around it. It's between the Nectary and Landgrab mansion. And here she is setting off. Of course, Amy would like her to go and peruse the store to see what else might be in there that she could buy. The mission Amy has given her is, I need you to head up to the old Celtic ruins and retrieve something I lost while exploring there several days ago. What was that? Looks like the food truck is stuck. I've only got the food truck because I've got another NRAS mod. I think it's a traffic mod. So now she is off up this little road to get to the Celtic ruins. I think it might be a bit of a spooky place up there. Lots of graves and things. Now that's the entrance to the tomb that she has to go into down below there. But we always go up the top first because there's often places to excavate. They spawn randomly. You just go there and see what's there on any particular day. And also there is, in the centre of that stone circle, there is a hidden hole in the floor which can be revealed by mourning at that particular tombstone. As you can see, she's mourned and now the hole in the floor is revealed. So she can inspect that hole in the floor and find some treasures. I always find it is a good policy to mourn at the tombstones that you find in tombs because they often trigger something. It could be a hidden door or treasure. It's always something interesting, and sometimes it's something that you really need. And if you don't think to mourn, well then you'll never find it. You'll just come out frustrated. And she's found some treasures there. While she's doing all of this, I have actually sent the others to the small fishing hole that's near the entrance to Tuatha's tomb. But we won't see them in this episode because it takes us too long to get through this tomb, so that will be for episode 35, where we see several of them at the other little fishing spot. I did try putting it all together in the correct timeline, but it just meant that we were flicking from the tomb to the fishing spot to the tomb to the fishing spot, and it wasn't really very easy to understand what was going on. So I decided that I would do the tomb in this episode and the fishing spot in the next episode, because this episode's pretty long anyway now. The only sim you'll see besides Muriel from here on in will be Sam, because I've got him to come and help her get through this tomb a bit faster, otherwise it would have taken even longer. It's a very easy tomb to complete because it's the first tomb, but it just takes a long time because you've got to run around a lot. There's a maze in there that they've got to keep running through, as well as some hidden doors and a few rubble piles. Of course, once they come out of the tomb and she reports in, you'll see different sims then. And you'll even see, I think Dianna has a bit of a go in here as well. Of course, if I'd have kept the timeline straight and mixed up between the tomb and the fishing spot, episode 35 would be a continuation of a mix-up between this tomb and the fishing spot, so I thought it'd be best to just do the tomb this time and the fishing spot next time. I hope that's enough of an explanation. Now she is trying to get that door to open. There's a hidden door there that she's revealed when she cleared that rubble pile. And just in case you're wondering, I cut a lot of time out of that because it took her ages to get that door to open. So now she's got to walk through the door and stand on that floor switch, which will open the next door. So it's just introducing you to the different aspects of going through a tomb. There's nothing else in this little room, it's just that one floor switch. And the next room has got a few more things in it. There's a pile of ancient coins, which you can collect and add to their tally. When they get their visa levels high enough, they'll be able to buy some interesting things to help them along their way. Clears that rubble pile. This one is only a small pile of rubble, so it doesn't take quite so long to get through. And she's getting faster at clearing them as well now because she's already done quite a lot of them. So it looks like she's revealed a money bag there. Now she can go and stand on that floor switch. It would be nice if that would open that door, but I don't think it will. No, that door still remains firmly locked. However, she has revealed a hole in the wall. Fortunately, she's not a cowardly sim. If she was a coward and there was bugs in that hole in the wall, she'd probably faint. Cowardly sims get moodlets that make them stay and wait until they're not frightened anymore whenever something scary happens in a tomb. So she's moved through to the next room. It's got 2 rubble piles that she's going to have to clear. That one in the corner she's going to do first. I think she'll get some artifacts from under it. And if you're wondering why she's getting through them so fast, well, she's getting faster and I'm cutting bits out. So between the two of us, we're avoiding having long stretches of digging. And so that's a heart-shaped keystone. She'll need that to get through the door to get to the next room, because the door in this room is locked and requires a keystone. And that is where she's got to put the keystone to be able to unlock the next door to go to the next room. But before she leaves this room, there is a hidden door to discover and open, and she can get into that room and collect some treasure. I'll just cut a bit out of her searching for the door. So she's found the door, and it looks like it's a door that opens automatically, so that's a lot quicker than her having to push it open. There's often several things to find in this room, but I think there's only one jewel there today. You never quite know exactly what you're going to find. Mostly I've found fairly valuable items in there, but it could depend on the experience and the traits and the lifetime rewards of a particular sim as to the value of what they find in the tombs, and also on the randomness of the game itself, because each time it spawns the treasures for a tomb, it has just a random sort of an algorithm or something, I suppose, that does particular types of treasures slightly differently each time. Now she's going to have to go through to the next room, which is a hallway, and there's a pushable statue that she needs to pull onto a floor switch to open that next door. And when she pulls that pushable statue onto that floor switch, she'll be able to get to that relic that is there next to that pushable statue. So she can pick that up and then go through to the next room, which is the room where we will bring Sam into the tomb. Because this particular room is a little bit complicated, but then from here on in we go to the next level down into the depths of the tomb, and we will need Sam's assistance to get through the room that follows this one. We don't need Sam because it's difficult down in the next tomb, or the next room of the tomb. We need Sam because it takes a long time to do it. It's very simple. You'll find your way through it quite easily on your own, even if it's the first time through. But you need time, and we don't want to have to sit here for any longer than we have to. So she's in that hole in the wall. She has opened that hidden door, and there's the steps that will take them up to the surface and out of the tomb. So that's just a shortcut back out of the tomb. Now I told her to push that statue, and I meant to tell her to pull it. So now she's got to pull it further onto that floor switch, which will reveal another floor switch. Now Sam has got some ancient coins there to collect, and then by the time he's got them, there'll be another floor switch there for him to push that other pushable statue onto. Muriel's taking her time. Sometimes it takes them a long time to pull and push those statues. So you can't see it yet, but there's that floor switch that's just been revealed. We'll get Sam to pull his statue across onto that floor switch. And when he did that, he got another floor switch. This one had 2 footprints on it, so he knew he had to stand on it. And that's opened up the staircase down to the next level. And when we get down there, we'll see a maze. And there's a tent. So if your sim is taking a long time, you don't need to use their tent, because there's a tent in the tomb ready for your sim to use if they would need it. You'll still need to have food, unless you find food as treasures. Sometimes you'll find dried food in the treasure chests in various places. That's all you find in some tombs. Not every time you go into the tomb. It's just whatever the tomb decides to generate or spawn on that particular visit. But you'll need to have food and shower in a can if your sim wants to stay overnight, as they will get hungry and dirty and will refuse to do any more adventuring until they've eaten something and got cleaned up. Get Muriel to collect a few things from that room. There's also a little plaque on the wall that tells you about having to have food in a tent and shower in a can. Now Sam mourned at that tombstone, and that opened up that hole in the floor for him, and he's going to get a valuable gem out of it. And then he will start exploring the maze towards the left of the screen, where he will find some treasures and a keystone, a heart keystone, and a hidden door, while Muriel will start going through the maze on the right-hand side of the screen. Of course, that doesn't necessarily mean that the maze will only be on the left and the right. You can end up going the most peculiar way around that maze. I usually just click a spot off in the distance and say, here, go to this point, and let them find their own way through it. They're pretty good at finding their own way through the maze. Unfortunately, I often find I've got to do a lot of backtracking because the thing that I told them to walk towards, they've got a very roundabout route to get to, and they will actually go past other things that they need to collect. Now, there's a pushable statue here as well that Muriel is moving. She's got to push it and pull it and get it onto another floor switch, which will open up that door that you can see at the bottom of the screen there. And that will get her into a big room with lots of things to do. Now, Muriel must be wondering about what it is that she's supposed to be looking for. How will she recognize it? When she was given this task, Marie gave Muriel some extra information. She added, I dropped it in a hole in the floor and didn't realize it until I was halfway home. You will know it when you find it. Now go. I eagerly await your victorious return. Location, forgotten burial mound. So there must be a hole in the floor somewhere. But until she comes across it, Muriel is going to continue collecting all of the relics and ancient coins and metals that she comes across. Sam's going through the maze again, trying to get out. He's picked up the heart keystone, and now he needs to make his way down to that door at the bottom of the screen. He's found another gems there. Now he's going up to the top to open that door there, that hidden door. You can see Muriel is down near the bottom of the screen there. She might be waiting, or she's waiting. Just told her now to go over and stand on that floor switch, which should open a hidden door that's right in front of her, I think. Sam's still inspecting that door. There it is. Now Muriel can go in that door and clear that rubble pile, and there's a treasure chest underneath it that she will reveal and get some things out of. Okay, Sam's got through that door, so now he can go and pick up all those ancient coins and metals and whatever else they can find in there. And then he'll probably go, well, up now, because this room, I've turned it around, so this room's at the bottom of the screen. But on the same side of the tomb, there's another room just to the left. You can't see it yet. There it is. And he's got a door there that'll be unlocked with the heart-shaped keystone that he's picked up earlier. So tell him to go in there and put the keystone in that keyhole, and he can go in there and open up another chest, which will have a few relics or something in it. It's usually relics or ancient coins in this particular tomb. take him a while to get there because he's got to go through the maze. This is why I said it's good to have a couple of sims doing it. But of course, when you are working through a tomb and you've got more than one sim, you've got to be very careful that it is the sim with the adventure that actually opens up the chest or the hole on the floor or whatever to collect the object of the adventure, because if another sim does it, well, then that adventure is broken for that game. The best you can hope for is to close without saving and do it again. So he's found whatever it is that he was finding in that chest. Muriel's still digging away there, so Sam can go over here to this big room and he can start collecting whatever he can find. And there's a lot of tombstones in there that he needs to mourn at, because some of them will actually reveal things. Now Muriel's collected her treasure, she can go into that room as well. Now Muriel is the one who owns this adventure, so she's the one who has got to retrieve the object. And you know where the object is because it'll be sparkling all around it. So that's where it is. It's in that hole in the floor. But she won't go straight to it. There's other things she can pick up first. The only worry, of course, that she hasn't gone straight to it is that Sam might accidentally get told to do it. And that would be a catastrophe. We have to do the whole thing again. There's a bottle of wine there as well. Not wine, nectar. That Sam can collect, so long as he doesn't go into that hole in the floor. Muriel's working on another hidden door there by the look of it. She looks like she's got it open. And in there she will find the sigil for this particular cave or tomb. There it is. That's the part of the tomb collection. I think there's 9 pieces for the French one, for the French tombs. Now she can come out and collect that object. Sam's after the bottle of nectar. They're on top of each other. Now somebody's going to have to start collecting more things and mourning at some headstones. Otherwise, we're never going to get out of here. It's those ancient coins. I think that pedestal with the ancient coins on it actually opens another door. There it is. There's more treasure to be found in there. Muriel's hanging around there a lot. Oh, she must have been mourning that tombstone. So now she can go into that hole in the floor that's just opened up and see what she can find in there. I think I've set Sam on a thing to just go around all the tombstones and mourn them all. I don't think it's necessary to do that, but it's a habit. Oh no, there he is. He's going to go into that room and pick up the treasure in that treasure chest. So they can just finish collecting treasures here now, and they've finished this tomb. And Muriel can go and report in. The problem is it's dark outside now, and we can't see her travelling through the countryside. So I'll just let them finish getting what they have to get here, and then they can go up the steps outside, and then I'll pick it up again when she gets to the store to report in with the object that she's found. I think it's a baseball. or softball or something like that. It's a ball anyway. She's going to go and mourn. That was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. I should have told Sam to do that, because she's hanging around mourning and he's waiting for her. Whereas I could have had her leaving the tomb and running back to report in while he did the mourning and ran around and picked up the last few little bits of treasure that he might be able to find, because he doesn't have to report in. He can just stay here. Once she's got that soccer ball or softball or baseball, she can just run straight back to report in, and Sam can just hang around in the tomb finding the last few relics and piles of ancient coins and things. Not to worry. Oh, she's going now. She's going to report in back at the general store in the marketplace. Up those steps to this room where we've opened that shortcut door a while ago, and up the steps to the outside where it's dark. And then she can ride her scooter back to the market and run to the general store to report in. And that's the first adventure done. Still got a little bit of time. So one of the other objects of them travelling is for them to buy all of the recipe books and skilling books and fishing bait books that they will need to learn about the fish, the recipes, and the special skills for each of these 3 World Adventure worlds. And Dianna is going to do that for France. I think she did it in China as well. She can go and buy the books at the bookstore now. It'll only take a few minutes, and then that'll be the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. So there's Dianna in her limousine. I'm going to buy her a CanSpa scooter so she can hopefully doesn't have to wait for the limo to come each time. That's the bookshop. And she can go over there and buy all of the books she needs. Just a few recipes, a fishing book, and some nectar making books. You can usually buy all of the objects that you need for a world at the general store, but for France, the Nectary has all the Nectary objects. So we haven't been to the Nectary yet. That'll be in another episode. And lastly, the recipes. She only needs 1 of each because I've got a mod that replaces the recipes and these books for the music books when the Sims have finished. So that's the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Goodbye for now. Happy simming, and I'll see you in the next video.